guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over an email that was sent from a subscriber. That's from a guy. He is 35 years old, and he's writing in looking for both my advice as well as you guys, the community. So there's going to be a lot of audience participation today about a situation he's in right now. Long story short, he recently ended a 2-year relationship with his girlfriend, which has turned into a gigantic drama fest with her friends, mutual friends, all that, because not too long ago, out of nowhere, for the first time in their entire 2-year relationship, she said that she's into gals, as bi, likes dudes and likes gals. And this was news to him because this never came up at all during the 2 years they were together. And this guy has no problem with different lifestyles, but it's not for him. You know, he doesn't want a situation where this is being brought up, and then down the road, the gal's asking for an open relationship, or suddenly feelings further. You get the point. He's heard enough stories, he's experienced a lot, and he's been cheated on. He doesn't need that. So he ended it with her, or at least eventually he does, and it's a big mess. And he's writing in asking me and you guys if he thinks he made the right choice. And so I'm going to go through his story here, and this is, it's definitely a good one. Now, before I get into this, I want to have a little disclaimer here. I want to make this abundantly clear, given the title I'll probably choose for this video and the picture and everything like that. To any newcomers that come here that are looking to start a bunch of drama over the subject matter, just leave. Okay? Let me make it clear. This guy has no problem with individuals that identify as bi, gay, lesbian, whatever. He just doesn't want to be involved with someone in that category because it doesn't work for him. And he's allowed to have choice. Men are allowed to have choices too. That's it. He wishes them all well, but it's not for him. And I completely back him up and agree with that. Now, we all know there are people out there when it comes to sensitive issues like this that are just chomping at the bit to start a bunch of drama and come out with the torches and pitchforks. Just leave. We don't need that kind of BS here. All right? This is a good guy, just in a tough situation. End of freaking story. That's the end of my disclaimer there. Because you know darn well, guys, given the times, these types are always looking to start drama. Okay, that being said, he says here, hello SSM. A new subscriber here, and I hope I don't receive too many slaps. A good friend recommended your channel, and I'm binge watching your videos. But I haven't found one that exactly fits my situation, but you probably have one that I have yet to find. You know what, bro? I think this is probably the first time I'm doing a story about a situation like this. So, you writing in may help somebody else that finds themselves in a situation like this. Your videos have also opened up my eyes to how detrimental the feminist and woke movements are, and I now question whether they influence my situation. I'll try to keep this as short as possible and keep my ranting to a minimum. Bro, I know you're new here, relatively new. You're allowed to rant here. You're allowed. This is a men's community, or the 4% of the female subscribers that watch me that are pretty cool too. You can rant. You can say what's on your mind. I just may have to speak in code to make sure I don't get kicked off YouTube. He says, I'm 35 years old and my ex-girlfriend is 27. We were together for over 2 years. I thought, keyword thought, we had a solid relationship, but I broke up with her because she said she discovered that she was bi. Discovered, huh? Newsflash. Throughout my life and right now, I've known people, acquaintances, friends, clients that are gay, and people talk to me all the time about everything. And guess what? They knew when they were kids. So no one's discovering this out of nowhere, you know? Come on here. Her friends and some of mine think I'm a jerk, especially her best friend, who says I'm insecure and immature, and did her a favor by breaking up with her because I don't deserve her. The age-old insecure and immature insults. On the way back to her place after eating, while we were waiting at a red light, a lesbian couple crossed the street holding hands. My ex remarked how things have changed so much for the better since the couple would have been shunned for holding hands in public if it was 20 years ago. She then nonchalantly said that she recently came to terms that she is bi. I'd be like, say what? You're at the stoplight, you just had your Jersey Mike sandwiches or something, wherever you came from, and she's bringing this up here. You're like, what? And he's probably like, okay, I got no problem with people, various lifestyles, but that's not what I signed up for. And also, this guy's probably smart enough to realize, why is she bringing this up out of nowhere? Women randomly bring things up on purpose, you know? Women aren't, in terms of communication, men and women communicate differently. You relationship guys are aware of this. And it can drive us all crazy. And guys generally, masculine guys, are very direct and to the point. But women, especially feminine women, they tend to test the waters. They dip the toe in the pool when it comes to subjects. They speak in innuendos and hints and stuff like that. She's testing the waters here. And he has to think, okay, why is she testing the waters, just bringing this up now? We all know darn well, because probably down the road it's like, how would you feel if we opened up our relationship? Or something like that. Or it could be a threat to his relationship and get his heart broken. These are all things going through his head in that whole moment of, what? When I asked her if she was cheating on me, she had this look of astonishment that I would even ask that question. She rambled on about me being ridiculous and how just because someone is bi doesn't mean they will cheat. Well, you know what? I know some of you guys are going to yell at me in the comment section. I partially agree with that. Just because someone is bi doesn't mean they're going to cheat. However, stop screaming at me, guys. Given the fact that she's just randomly bringing this up at the traffic light, and clearly, or at least is maybe claiming that she never experienced the touch of a gal, that would have me being concerned about either potentially cheating or just requests for open relationships. You've heard these stories before, or something along those lines. The red flags are going off here. You know? I asked her if she had been with a woman before, and she said no. There's a genuine concern he can have. Now, why are you bringing it up, honey? We didn't say much on the drive back to her place, but by the look on her face, she regretted bringing it up. We didn't live together, but had keys to each other's places. When we got back, I told her I need some time to process what she told me. Oh boy. Here we go. Fireworks. She acted shocked at my reaction and said I was making a big deal over nothing and she wasn't going to act on it. Well, you're going to find out in the story, guys, this guy's been cheated on numerous times. And given that we're in Sodom and Gomorrah 2.0 and how many people cheat out there, you can't blame this guy for having concern over this. She rambled on that it wasn't some coming out revelation, and she said some shit about love the person, not the gender. She panicked and told me not to go, and said again that being bi doesn't equate to cheating. I left and assured her that we would talk the next day. I was numb and shocked all the way home. Dude, totally understandable. And by the way, I think I should say what many of you guys are thinking at this point. If the situation was reversed and they were at the stoplight and he saw two dudes walking across the street holding hands and he said the same thing, I think if she was 100% hetero, might take issue with that. Not because she had a problem with that lifestyle or whatever, but, or the feelings involved or any of that stuff in that category, but would make her a bit concerned for her own personal relationship with this dude. Right? Yes. And I would have no problem with that too. When I got home, I had a breakdown. I did puke with images in my head of her and some other chick. My gut screamed that I had to break up, even considering her promise not to cheat. It didn't take her long to start calling and texting, but she finally left me alone after I told her 1,000 times that we can talk the next day. Yeah, she's freaking out. Like, oh my God, he's breaking up with me. But guess what? You're allowed to be a little freaking out too, you know. I mean, after all, you spent 2 years of your life with her. That's some time. He says, almost every relationship I've had, I was cheated on. If I was dumped for a woman, it would emasculate and humiliate me way worse than it was a man. I had a meltdown, but I was able to gather my composure, called my boss, and said that I had a family emergency, and he let me take a couple vacation days. That's a good boss. Make sure you pay back in kind to him with, doing doing some overtime, doing some favors. She started again with the calls and the texts, and I had to turn off my phone, but I didn't get much sleep. I tried to rationalize, but my gut told me to cut my losses and end it no matter how hard I fought the urge. Trust your gut, gentlemen. It's your truth. We were distant and awkward the next few days, and she said that the issue didn't matter to our relationship, and she wished she hadn't brought it up. I flat told her I wasn't comfortable being in a relationship with a bi gal, and she got very irritated and told me that I was being paranoid over nothing. No, you're not. Not at all. You have every right to react the way you are. You know? Again, I will stand by what I said. That doesn't mean that she's going to be a cheater, but it makes you concerned about down the road she starts having feelings for somebody else and open relationship requests, that type of thing, or the fact that she's never had, according to her, relations with another gal. That, and again, why is she suddenly bringing this up? She babbled on about bi people being in committed hetero relationships and more of that. It's the person, not the gender crap. I left again and told her that I needed more time, and she got really pissed off when I was leaving and said I was being stupid. I'd be like, honey, you're not helping the situation by throwing insults my way. I'm allowed to process this whole thing. I called one of my good friends for advice, who's 50 years old and has way more wisdom than I do. He was burned in his marriage and several relationships, and he no longer does either. He told me that he would get out of Dodge if he was in my shoes, but said I ultimately had to decide for myself whether I could see her the same. I knew that I had to end the relationship, but I had trouble getting the guts to do so. Yeah, I would have never gotten with her in the first place if I had known that she was bi. There you go. And I guarantee you she knew. Guaranteed. We went back and forth for the next few days, but I just couldn't look at her the same way anymore. As if I never did know the real her. She tried to initiate you-know-what at my place, and I rejected her. Oh boy. They don't like rejection, but especially rejection in the bedroom. And that's when she got irate, would I tell you, and started screaming and crying and slammed the door as she left. I was repulsed, and I couldn't have gotten up if I tried. I didn't get any more calls and texts that night, but I could not sleep. I might be spineless, but the next morning, while she was at work, I scooped up her things at my place and went to her place without her knowing. He has a key, so don't think he broke into her place. He has a key. She has a key to his house. I gathered up all my stuff I had over there and left things on her counter along with the key. I also changed my locks. Well, I don't blame you, dude, and you're getting out of Dodge in one way, getting your stuff from her place, putting her stuff back in hers, changing the locks, because things are about to get pretty crazy. She started texting around lunchtime, but she had no idea what I had done. I texted that we would talk later after she got off work. Just as I suspected, after she got home, she freaked out and called and texted begging me to answer, and when I didn't respond, she just showed up at my doorstep. I'm sure your neighbors love that. I finally found the strength and told her through tears that I don't want the drama of a relationship with someone who is bi. She sobbed and begged me not to break up, and she said again she would not cheat on me. I told her over and over that we had to go our separate ways, and when I didn't budge, she called me a piece of crap, pounded on my chest, then left. So she got physical, eh? Call me crazy, but the situation was reversed, and she was breaking up with you, and if you got emotional and worked up and, well, did the same thing, you know darn well that the local police would be there and put you in handcuffs. I get she's upset. And maybe she would never cheat. I'm giving that part the benefit of the doubt. But still, this is not what she wants as a girlfriend. Because there's always going to be that thing in the back of your mind that you will never be enough for her. And that's not insecure, by the way. Anybody wants to say that. Or that all of a sudden her wants and needs will change. Or she'll want to, test that area, if you will. Or taste that area, if you will. And it's just not for you. And you're allowed to have choice. You're allowed to have standards or just pick and choose what you want in relationships. As does she. As does anybody else in various relationships, lifestyles, whatever that happens to be. We're all allowed to be masters of our own destiny. Anybody has a problem with that, or you with your choice, can go fuck themselves. It didn't take long for more texts and phone calls, and I had to turn my phone off. I was afraid that she'd come knocking on my door again, but she did not. Probably because she has the tendency to shut down under stress. When I turned the phone on the next morning, it was full of texts and calls that I ignored, and by afternoon my phone was blowing up with calls and texts from friends, especially her best friend, who no doubt broadcasted to everyone in our circle what was going on. Here we go. Out comes the torches and pitchforks for the hater. I ignored all of them, but for some stupid reason, I eventually answered her best friend. Smack! You should, of all the people that reached out to you giving you a hard time, the best friend's the last person you should have responded to. You just gave her ammo. She started berating me, what I just tell you, and said what an a-hole I was and how she was at my ex's place to comfort her because I traumatized her, blah, blah, blah. Traumatized her? I'm sure your girl, if she's remotely attractive, has broken up with guys before, but I'm sure when she broke up with them, wasn't buying that they were traumatized, but if a gal's broken up with, all of a sudden the guy's the root of all evil and he's traumatizing me. Before I hung up, I posted a hypothetical situation of what if it was her boyfriend who came out and I wasn't very nice about it. I told her to F off and block my ex and her friends and a few of mine, and thankfully nobody banged on my door. Bro, I don't blame you. You need peace and quiet to process and figure out your life. If you're having people that are mutual friends, like your friends and mutual friends, and they're all making you out to be the root of all evil and don't even want to hear your side of the story or just whatever, then that's it. You have no need for them in your life. I'm sure you're a cool guy. You can make new friends. Period. Every so often, guys, we need to, shake away the dead cells, if you will. Shake away the people in your life that really you don't need or aren't on your side. Life is about change, all right? Nothing's permanent, if you really think about that, except death and taxes and, let's be honest, war. It says, come to think of it, her best friend is a hypocrite. I remember about 6 months ago, her boyfriend joked about all-girl sorority orgies, and she said it was nasty. I feel like crap and have guilt for causing her anguish, but I'm broken and pissed all at once. And I just can't accept this whole thing. Every time I rethink the situation and have second thoughts, my gut instinct tells me that I made the right decision by breaking up with her. You did, bro. And even if I didn't agree with you, if it's what you wanted to do and was right for you, then you should do it. Period. And I believe you when you say that you didn't want to hurt her and you don't want her to suffer. But then again, she's springing this on you. There is no way that she woke up one morning and was watching TV and some sitcom and two girls making out, and all of a sudden she was like, whew, I guess I'm bi. No. People, again, from what I've been told multiple times, from people of different generational groups, they knew when they were kids. And I'm sure anybody watching this who's brave enough to comment about this that's like that, number one, you don't think I'm giving you a hard time because I'm not, but you'll know that very likely when you were kids, and definitely by teenagers, you knew. Anyway, he says, every time I rethink the situation, I have second thoughts. My gut tells me I made the right decision, blah, blah, blah. My gut also tells me that she might have brought up the subject to test the waters. And it would just been a matter of time before she'd ask permission to explore or flat out cheat. Right, I guarantee you that's what she was doing, testing out the waters. And that's the question, why? Why is she bringing that up to test out the waters? Because you gotta see how these stories go. These guys get comfortable in these relationships and the girl knows it. And that's when these requests for open relationships or the newly married open marriages come up, and right? And this guy doesn't want to be a part of that. I think if she had no need to take it further, she wouldn't have brought it up in the first place. If there were any red flags, I didn't see them, and I'm almost certain that she never cheated, and she doesn't have a masculine bone in her body. In the bedroom, she did damn near everything, but we never had a discussion about bisexuality. I don't remember her dropping any hints, but this is a deal breaker for me, even though she claims she only mentioned it in passing and wasn't coming out per se. Nope, not buying it. Bye. Not buying it, because I understand how women communicate. And if you said that she's a very feminine woman, then she definitely isn't direct with communication. Hints, innuendos, dipping the toe in the pool to test the waters. That's what's going on there. That's it. Everything's my gut and my life experience is telling me, bro. I expected her friends to side with her, but some of my friends think I overreacted. One of my friends suggested this was an excellent opportunity for a three-way, or to watch, and I almost beat the crap out of him. Aside from past hookups and friends with benefits, I've never gone any further with a bi chick. It's not your thing, dude. And this gal was important to you, and you didn't want to. That wasn't your thing. I researched online articles, and it seems every one of them pushes this as normal and wonderful, and that coming out as that is brave. But no consideration is given to the partners or spouses, even when in decades-long relationships. No regard for a spouse's pain and emotional trauma in these effed up articles, only a high five for the ones that had come out. No, they are not brave and should not be committed if they shattered the life of a significant other who has nothing more than a pawn to mask their ways, their sexuality. If they were brave, they would have explored all that and reconciled any curiosities or repressed urges before entering the relationship with someone, only to F up later the partner's world. In other words, what he's saying is, let me put it this way. Coming out, the way I see this is, sure, it can be a very scary thing for the individuals doing so, to their family, to friends, work, everything like that. That would be scary. And I've known people who told me stories about that. It was scary. And, people go through therapy for years before they actually can do that. But when someone knows darn well that, and they're in a relationship with someone, and then eventually they break up with them and break the other person's heart, and that person, man or woman, is shattered by this, then that's really, it's terrible. And that's what he's trying to say here, and I get what he's trying. You all know what he's trying to say. Except some people would find any excuse to twist it around and label it hate or something like that, which is not that at all. Clearly this guy's no problem, but he feels it's wrong to be with someone while all along you're attracted to somebody else, or if you're a gal, she's attracted to another girl, or a guy attracted to another dude, or something like that, He says, this goes for both gay and straight people. I don't believe my ex suddenly woke up one morning and discovered she was bi, but then again, maybe she read one of those BS articles that encourage question your sexuality. I heard my ex is not in a good place, but thankfully her CUNT best friend is keeping her from contacting me, which is a relief. I will probably never be in another relationship again, and I'm thinking about moving to another city closer to work. You know what? Maybe it's time for a change. Maybe you want to move to a different location, kind of get away from, because she's obviously not too far away, and you're now ex-friends are near you and everything like that. It might be the time for you to, find a new place to live. Change is good. Shit, I moved to Florida 4 months ago, and I'm loving this change, let me tell you. Shorts and a t-shirt year-round. It's wonderful. What is your assessment? When no apparent cheating is involved, I have nothing against bi women. I just don't want to be in a relationship with one. I know you say it, handle it like a boss, and I suppose I did, but I am still devastated, angry, and 2 years of my life are down the drain. SSM, being that there was a 99% chance she never cheated, is my gut instinct right, or did I overreact and throw away what I think was the best relationship I ever had? Am I the a-hole? No, dude, you're not the a-hole, but unfortunately, you're going to have a lot of people who are going to say you're the a-hole, because that's just the world we're in. You did what was best for you, and at the end of the day, you got to take care of you. And if you, with that knowledge, with her bringing that up, and I guarantee that wasn't just some random thing she was just casually for fun bringing it up, like, your local sports team and how they're doing and stuff like that, that's a red flag. And typically when somebody, like I said, the way women communicate usually is hints and testing the waters. Why is she bringing that up after all this time? And is extremely likely she's known for years. So you've been in a relationship with a gal who obviously has been attracted to women. There's nothing wrong with that, but there's something wrong with it if she's hiding it from you. Okay? And the way these things usually go is the waters are being tested with that, and to see how you react, and if that meets her satisfaction. And then down the road, she could bring up the fact that, hey, want to do an open relationship or something like that, and that's a problem, and you get hurt over that. And so, and the other thing is that even if she didn't bring something like that ever, and if she wasn't cheating on you, because again, I'm going to stand by this, just because someone's bi doesn't mean they're going to cheat. They may, just like any hetero guy can be married to a great gal. Just because he's attracted to other women doesn't mean he's going to go cheat, okay? Let's be honest, it comes down to personal character. But if she's bringing this up to you randomly, and she's never had relations with a gal before, if that's true, clearly it's on her mind. And that's a problem for you. Okay, so it's best you broke up with her, and she can now go explore and do what she wants that makes her happy. Because maybe it isn't just a little curious. Maybe she's really fine. Maybe before she's always known, but really it's becoming apparent as she's getting older in her 20s. You know, when people start making life choices, and it might be the best thing ever happened. Think about this. You could have just done the best thing ever happened to her. You broke up with her. They hurt her now, and then she can go down the path and find out that guess what? She wants to be with a gal the rest of her life. Okay, and then maybe she'll be very happy with that gal, and we'll look back at this and still think you're an a-hole, but you did her a favor. Who knows? But you are allowed to take care of you. And if you stay with her, you're always going to be wondering about that. You know, but it all goes back to her bringing this up randomly, and I guarantee you she's known for years. Like, again, I've known people that all walks of life who've told me when they knew when they were kids, for goodness sake, you know. But it really took a long time to come to terms with things, depending on where they are, their religion, their family, their culture, you know. And these are good people, and I stand by that. So, you know, I wish her well, and I wish you well, but I just hope that she'll then leave you alone, accept it, instead of trying to, you know, make your life a living hell. But I will no longer be wishing her well if she decides to continue on and her army of friends trying to give you a hard time. That's a problem there. So, bro, you did the right thing, and it's going to take some time, but you will move past this. And look at it like this. I know you say, you know, you wasted 2 years of your life. Well, in these 2 years, if you had fun with her, and you maybe did some traveling and good times, you had plenty of fun in the sack and all that, and you learned something, then it wasn't a total loss. You know, end of story here. And you'll just go through your life the way you see fit. But I do think a change is in the cards for you. Moving to a new place and stuff like that, away from where you are, where obviously she's going to be nearby and other mutual friends that are on your side. But of course, in a situation like this, you're going to have people that are going to give you a hard time, because nobody's ever going to always agree with you, especially over a subject like this, given the times and how hypersensitive it is. You know, like I said, people are going to probably stumble on this video, whether it's now when I publish this today, or down the road, and probably start saying all the things you guys can all imagine. And I had my disclaimer in the beginning, and I made it clear, you know. So that's that, man. But you did exactly what I would have done in that situation. Period. And it wasn't cool that she clearly had to have known about these feelings long before you, and going 2 years in the relationship, bringing it up, letting you fall for her, or at least fall enough for her that you're with her for 2 years. Because aside from all this, obviously you're feeling heartbroken, because I'm sure you had feelings for her, but you had to do what was very hard and do what's best for you for the long term, because otherwise it would have eaten away at you. So I think you get my point about this. So, bro, I wish you the best. I know it wasn't easy, and I'm sure you're second guessing yourself, but if your gut tells you something's right or wrong, listen to your gut, and you'll never go wrong. It's your superpower. It's your sixth sense, you know. So, bro, just take it day by day. You know the drill. Hit the gym, work out, spend time with the friends that really have your back. Focus on your grind, your purpose. You're going to be okay. And down the road, if anything happens with her or her wacko friend, anybody else, or any revelations or updates, send it my way, because this video will probably do well, and I'm sure a lot of guys want to hear some updates. In fact, gentlemen, all you guys watching at this point, if there's any news or any updates with the situation, and he has some, let him know in the comments section you'd like some updates, and I'm sure he will. Send it. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.